Welcome to another edition of Lone Star Brahmas Inside the Bullpen. Brought to you by Acme Bread. If you don't see the Acme name, you're not getting Acme quality. And now, here are your hosts, Nick Merritt, Chad Seward, and Walt.
Brahmaland, it's a beautiful day to talk about some hockey action in Tarrant County. Nick Merritt, Chad Seward, and special guest Walt Ruff with us for yet another week of Inside the Bullpen. Chad, we are deep into another week. How you doing, buddy?
Doing good. We're deep into a season. Actually, we're 7 games into a season, which is more than 10% into the season, but yet we have not played at home. It's a bit odd. What do you think about that?
That is a little crazy, but I mean, at least the good news is that's coming back. That's going to change.
This is true. It's going to change very soon, here in about 48 hours, as a matter of fact.
Hey, we like hearing that. I think the fans do, too. They've been waiting for it for too long.
So, Walt, what's going on with you, buddy?
How do you get the Leah Cora Center from looking like this to looking like this?
I don't know. What's the Leah
Cora Center? Did he mean NITEC Sports Center? Is he a little sick? Or
let's just go mic off on Walt, if you don't mind.
All right, yeah. Hey, go. We'll take it from here. Go finish up some of the game programs and notes, and we'll just join in about 30 minutes.
Mic off on Walt. So, 7 games played on the road. Can you believe that? What's the Leah Cora Center? My brain is exploding right now. I don't even know it.
I wonder if you got that confused with George's Pond Hirsch, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe Blaine, which is probably where we need to start. But that's the Schwann Center.
That is.
Unless there's a new sponsorship that's been sold.
Maybe there's been a couple.
Like the Leah Cora Metal Company up in Blaine, Minnesota. But, Nick, you were there, the showcase.
Yes.
It wasn't even the season opener because we had already beat the crap out of Amarillo the week before.
We did.
So this was games 2 through 5.
Yes.
Not to just bog on it too hard. How many? 8 possible points. We came home with, what, 7?
7. Yep.
It's pretty well. Pretty damn good.
Tied, believe it or not, tied for second somehow with that same Amarillo team that we just smoked 7-1 the week before.
That's interesting.
Makes no sense. Hey, but it could be a good sign of the defense and how good they are because Amarillo has 2 leading scorers on their team, but against the Brahmas, they had nothing.
Right. Well, we'll find out here. Like I said, 46 and a half hours or however long it is till the puck drops. We're going to find out. But so we win. We lose in overtime, we win.
Yep.
It's good. It's a good start. What did you see? We had multiple goalies playing, right?
We did. We had 3 different goalies playing a game.
Did anybody play 2 games? Somebody had to.
Yes. Gordon ended up playing 2 games. He played Game 1 and Game 4.
Okay.
Looked pretty sharp. Obviously came out with a big win there against Austin in the last night to give the Brahmas their 3rd win of the showcase. Honestly, the goaltending in general, it did very well. Connor O'Brien came back with the team after Youngstown, so there was actually one person who didn't see the ice, so he would have been the 4th goaltender on roster. But obviously Dan and Al know what OB can provide, so I think they wanted to make some more decisions and get some of the other guys in, be it Calvaruso, Gordon, and Smith. And looking at the goaltenders, okay, like I get it, it's week 1, really week 2 of the regular season by then, but man, like it was hard to differentiate the guys. Nobody was rough in net. There was no bad option for the Brahmas between the pipes for the showcase, and that's good to see. It's great to see the goaltenders step up. Nobody was sensational. Nobody won the job out of Blaine, but I mean, you could have made a case for all 4 of those guys that said, yeah, they could easily start at the Brahmas home opener here on Saturday. But it was fun. It was a good event. Lots of crowds. Got to spend time with my dad. That's always fun, too. Spend some time with Frank and Sal during the games. And I feel like the scouts were a little bit more than last year. Maybe not a lot more. But definitely there were some eyes in Brahmas games, and there were quite a few players after the games talking with scouts down in the lobby outside the locker rooms.
The surge in scouts, I think the NA had a record number of commitments, NCAA commitments.
Yes.
Last year.
Almost
and
259, actually, to be exact.
Right, and then plus, what do we have, 5-6 guys drafted into
yes.
the National Hockey League.
Yes.
So, yeah, I could see an increase in scout activity there.
Sure.
You know, I would love to look up our goalie stats, but our new league partner in Hockey Tech is such a pile of turds that I don't even know. So I don't know how good our goalies are doing.
Yeah, it's a backdoor way. If you want me to pull it up. The only way I found out how to do it, and this is bad being the media guy, you have to go to the Game Center tab on the NAHL website or our website. We have the stats.
You know, because that's the easy way to do it.
If you go to top goalies, you have to go between skaters and goalies, which also doesn't make sense. And then it gives you just a mishmash of everybody. You really have to go to the All Teams button and drop that down just to Lone Star to sort by your team. And that is how you find the goalie stats. So here you go. Austin Smith. Well, this is I can't read the stats out, to be completely honest, because none of this is correct. So I don't want to go with it because there's no Alec Calvaruso. There's no stats of Alec Calvaruso on the stats as of Thursday, 2 days before a home opener. So I'm going to have some fun putting some game notes together when Calvaruso beat Amarillo 7-1 in the opener, and then he played in the second game of the showcase. And apparently hasn't played a game. So.
You know,
well done.
Transition is always difficult, I think, in anything in life. And going from a partner with Point Streak, which we had for forever, and in Point Streak we were used to with the Central Hockey League, and now to Hockey Tech. I'm sure it's going to be great once we're out of the rough here, but right now it's a bit of a struggle. They had us listed as 5-2 for a while when we were 5-1-1. So there's a bit of struggle. And this is where we take our crew. Brendan Neely and Howard Stone and our off-ice crew would take them. I wouldn't say for granted, but this is where we really are happy to have them because they really care about getting the stats right.
Getting this right.
And they also have practice with the NA3 team. So I wouldn't expect as many mistakes coming out of the statistical front out of this building.
Right. Well, they really went back to, and they changed a lot of stats too on the Brahmas side with points and assists and blah blah blah, and giving guys more and less. And
so it's long story longer. It's a mess on the statistical front.
It's going to take some time.
It'll take some time, but we had at one point in time we had 4 goalies here upon returning from the showcase.
Yeah.
You had mentioned O'Brien returned from Youngstown.
Correct.
Smith is now, I believe, Wichita Wildcats property.
Yes.
And
I think he played as well against the Jackalopes this past weekend, too, if I remember right.
Good. So we'll see him again.
Yeah. He stays in the South.
Many times.
Probably not what the coaches wanted. I don't think they wanted him to stay here. But
you know, neither you or I are a coach, and it's probably a pretty damn good thing that we're not coaches. And at least the fans should appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think we'll have a lot more wins with an actual qualified coach behind the bench. But we got 3 goalies left. That number at some point will be down to 2.
Right.
And this is where I wanted to see the stats, see kind of how they look. I mean, you got Gordon, who's young.
Right.
That was your guy, right?
Yes.
On the season predictions.
Yep.
Smith was my guy, so
well, we'll have to see what he does in Witchy.
I didn't do well there, but
to be fair, nobody knew O'Brien was coming back then too.
Well, so. And then look, Darian Hansen last year was sent packing at the showcase, and he ended up doing quite well.
He did.
In fact, he's backing up Jake Kupski now in Union? Or one more year?
Will be.
Interesting. So O'Brien's back. We've had some goalie moves, and we took our trio of goalies out east into Cajun country.
Yep.
Two different goalies play. O'Brien took the loss in the first game, 4-2. What are your thoughts on that? And we'll get into that whole situation in a minute. But what did you see?
I got to see the game on Fast Hockey. Sadly, couldn't travel with the team because of just some late issues with getting the Shreveport stuff set up. But Yeah, I know from the coach's standpoint too, and from my standpoint as well, it wasn't the best performance this Brahmas team has done. They looked way better and way more together. And Blaine, I mean, give it to Shreveport. It's tough to be an expansion team, and Carlos Zernis and company, they did a good job of going out, bringing in some guys. They don't have a protected list from the year before like the Brahmas do when you could bring back a couple returners. They literally had to start from ground zero, and their team looks pretty strong. It's interesting to see. I don't know. I can't compare it to the Brahmas' first year because I didn't see it firsthand, but the Shreveport team definitely has a good chance of making the playoffs.
Oh, well, I would say that they're light years ahead of where we were in 13.
Okay, well, there you go. I would have assumed so, but...
Yeah, we didn't even technically purchase the team or gain the rights to the team until June or July 25th or somewhere around there, and then we had regular season games less than 2 months later, so...
I guess they did have the whole year because they knew they were coming to the league for about a year. But
and they've had a few tryout camps and everything. So long story is they win the first game,
right,
and then we take it back.
Big gut check, welcome back for them.
Yeah,
whatever. At least the Brahmas, from Shreveport fans, we didn't spoil their NAHL opener. So.
Yeah, and look, the Hirsch.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the Hirsch Coliseum, George's Pond there. It's cool to see them go back. That's where the Mudbugs originally played before they went out to what used to be called the Century Tel Center. They've done a lot of renovations. They got a new video board. Looked cool. Some giant banners actually because that arena is a lot like the Fort Worth Convention Center. It's like 8,000 or 9,000 seats.
Right.
So by using these giant banners the size of basketball courts,
block off the sections.
They can block off, but it works out, so it looks full. But if they need more, if there's a big game somewhere down the road, they can add more in. So it's brilliant.
They had a good following for obviously like people were wondering if they were gonna have a sellout. I guess it didn't look like a sellout, but they definitely had 25 to 3,000 people.
Well, I mean they said 7,000 over the weekend, but here's the thing: they got off kind of like we were ragging on Hockey Tech earlier. They got off to a rough start. They being the front office of Shreveport. You and I was more pissed off than you about that broadcast situation. We were kind of trying to find out if they had it set up for fast hockey so that you could go. I mean, there's no point in sending you on the road if there's nothing to do other than watch a hockey game. And we never got an answer. Then they told us they're not broadcasting. The league said they were broadcasting. Then they said they weren't. Then they said they'd call us back and blah, blah, blah. By 5:30 on Thursday afternoon, it's announced that they're broadcasting. They have some broadcaster who, again, I don't even know his name or her name. Is it him?
Yeah, it's him.
It's a him?
Yeah.
So I don't know who it is.
I know. I'll look forward to meeting him, I guess, in
Mystery Man.
End of November.
I guess. If they travel. May not travel.
Well,
we don't know it. Yeah, okay.
For after Thanksgiving. Yeah, the home
Fair
and home.
Enough. Yeah, so I doubt
he'll travel, though.
It was a mess. Like, we were going to do a big watching party in Zoo-Roma, and we had to cancel that, and it was just kind of a gong show, I guess. And then I hear that from the Shreveport side of things, it was a super gong show because you heard this story that they had issued season tickets to people, but they did not block them off in the ticketing system.
Oh, gosh.
Therefore, people who walked up to...
Double tickets?
Yes. And
Ooh,
I'm going to...
That's like the nightmare for everybody in front office.
Shout out to very loyal and very great Brahmas season ticket holder, Harry Butler, who made the trip, purchased tickets that actually belonged to somebody else. They belonged to a season ticket holder. And when the Shreveport staff asked him, or so the story goes that I was told, Shreveport staff asked him to move, if he would mind moving. He's like, nope, I bought these tickets, and this is where I'm sitting. So shout out to Harry for standing your ground. And I think that the ticketing director quit up there at Shreveport. It was such a debacle.
Really?
Yep. They delayed the game for a while there on Thursday because the ticketing system crashed, and I feel their pain. I know.
I didn't know about the ticketing crash.
Yeah, I know how frustrating that is. I have been on the receiving end of it when we played the Fort Worth Convention Center in 2012.
Sure.
We had a line that was, I swear to God, 150 yards deep for tickets, and we had 2 ticket computers, and they just couldn't keep up. and you couldn't hear in there. It was chaos. And then the will call line, a lot of those people didn't even need to have a ticket. They were already in will call. They didn't know it, and we looked stupid. And it's hat giveaway night, and then everybody gets in. There's no hats. So I've been on the receiving end of that. And I'm not saying that we, with the Brahmas or NYTEC Sports, are never at fault. But you definitely feel
Everyone
for
makes
sure.
mistakes.
Absolutely,
like that.
absolutely, and you feel for them, and you know that they'll turn it around and get it better. The positive is, whether or not it was really 7,000, I don't know how you can even count knowing the ticketing snafus, but it looked like they had good support there.
Yes,
and it's
without a doubt,
it's September still. It's still, even in Louisiana, football is a big deal, and it's going to take a little bit of time,
right.
I think.
Right.
But
I think it was a good welcome back to the league for Shreveport. Their fans, apparently from everything we saw online and from what we heard, I guess minus those debacles with the front office, but I heard the fans were great, and like you see on social media, there was a lot of interaction with the Mudbugs. So
yeah,
right away, everybody was pretty vocal. It seemed like the Shreveport community was very pleased, and then the Brahmas did get the 2 points in the shootout win, pretty dramatic fashion too, because Shreveport almost came back in that game, but Brahmas won game 2.
Yeah, and I was following with Hockey Tech.
Yeah.
And that was frustrating because you didn't even know who was in goal or if there was any shots on goal or whatever. But you could follow the score at least.
Here's my bad story with that too. I know we just ragged on Hockey Tech, and
let's rag them some more.
Yeah, I know it's work in progress, but come on, like when the season's rolling, it's got to get figured out. Let's put it this way: because I'm not there, I got to see firsthand what you, the fans, experience when you try to enjoy a game, watch a game, be it broadcast, fast hockey, now Hockey TV. Shout out to them for changing a platform. It looks clean. I saw a little preview of it, so nothing fancy, but just a clean look to get off subject. But Hockey Tech, it shouldn't have to wait till after the end of the game to update all the shots for the period. Like, people want to see it. They want to see who kind of has an advantage. They like to keep posted with that. All of our fans are like, what's the shots? They're asking me on Twitter during Showcase, and I'm trying to get them during the broadcast so people are tuning in more, which, hey, I enjoy that. I'm glad they're, listening to the broadcast more. But what bugged the heck out of me was I couldn't be at the game, so then I had to make other plans on Friday night since I wasn't in Shreveport. And I'm trying to finish, get the job done on social media, get the post out. It said 4-2 the Brahmas won on Hockey Tech. It said 4-2. And then I see, God bless, we just said Harry Butler. I saw his tweet, sent it to the Brahmas, and he literally goes, big shootout win for the Brahmas, 5-4.
You're like, huh?
And I'm like,
what?
refreshing. Nothing is updating. It literally just says unofficial final. So, it's final. But then it's like, if it's final, why wouldn't it say, 4-4 unofficial final? It was it never went to overtime.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was an off-ice issue with Shreveport, but
Well,
I literally had to text 6 people to try to make sure I get confirmed, because here's the media guy literally not knowing what the score is for his own team.
Well,
it's brutal. So,
and again,
I hear you, fans. We're going to try our best to work.
That's where we really are glad that we have a long-standing off-ice crew. It could have just been new guys that had never seen the system before.
You're right. Well, I'll give it credit, because I know Howard said the same thing too, our off-ice official, and he goes, they're only giving me a 2-day training, 2-day leeway for a training window, aka 2 days today. He's in there probably right now, actually, getting training for the home opener on Saturday, which is, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Why do they wait that long? There's questions of yes.
This is a question the league can answer, and you know what? It's just, in the end, it's just going to be a tiny little speed bump in a long highway, because it'll all smooth out, and I'm sure it'll be great. And they don't sign, they being the league, don't sign a partner unless it's more of a long-term situation. Right. So,
well, hey, and I feel what's the word? Maybe not bad, but I'll be the first to say I don't like change with things like this. I don't think people don't typically like change, so when they see change, it's annoying to have to rework it. So I think that's where the frustration is coming from. I know on my side that's where it's coming from. But even little things like little pregame reports, they said the league did tell me they are going to incorporate those. It's just going to take some time for them to build that, because they have to work with the producers or webmasters of Hockey Tech to be able to pull those stats into one big file. But at least those should happen. When the fans look up, how many goals did Peter Kessel have against Odessa? They'll be able to get that at the snap of a finger down the road. But
that will be great. But, yeah. And whatever. We could go on all day.
It's right. We're halfway through the podcast. It's all been a gong show here.
It's frustrating. Point streak has had its own share of
sure
hiccups.
Sure.
So
nobody's perfect. We make mistakes plenty of times too, but
yeah, and I'm sure mistakes are made in the National Hockey League level, even with stat keeping. So it's a tough, thankless job. So thank you to Howard and crew for doing the awesome job that you guys do and will do despite the less than stellar equipment.
Well, hey, we got a few more things to talk about. Then we got a jet here in a minute because Meet the Team party's coming up in literally an hour or so. But let's see. We got big news earlier this week off the ice.
Huge news.
Is Justin Adamo, the Brahmas rookie forward, the native of France, was named on the NHL's Central Scouting preliminary watch list for the 2017 draft. For those who don't understand maybe what the watch list is.
Break that down for them.
Well, here's the first example. Only 12 NAHL players out of, there's 20 team, over 450 players. 12 made this list. 3 of them were from the South for your South Division opponent comparisons. And this is something where they put you on the list. NHL scouts put you on the list, that is, because they believe you have potential of being drafted and becoming an NHL professional hockey player in the coming years. So
that is correct.
That is huge news. I think they only release about 250 skaters, something like that. And like the entire world, throughout the entire hockey universe, when you look at the WHL, OHL, USHL, NAHL, BCHL, QMJHL, whatever, all those junior leagues, they have to pull from all those teams. So you're getting like the major juniors, if you will. Like the guys were like, oh, that guy's for sure a first-round draft pick. Like Adamo's on the list with those guys. And this is only the second time that's happened. And I think the entire Brahmas history, CHL and NAHL, because usually it
never happened in the
CHL. It can't happen.
It didn't happen at all.
Because nobody's draft eligible there. So Clark made it in April of last year, but Adamo's the first person in the preliminary preseason one to make it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Now, it doesn't guarantee that he's going to be drafted. And that's one thing that someone asked me is like, wow, man, that's great. Do you know like where he's scheduled to go? No. I mean, he could play bad and
of course
play his way off that list. He could also transversely play good and move himself up. If you look at elite prospects, because that's the only place that I can find stats right now, not to keep beating a dead horse there, but through a half a dozen games this year, he didn't play the first game in Amarillo, because of immigration issue, but 6 games, he's got 5 points. That's +1. I mean, so
and his 2 goals, game-winning goals, of the showcase too, by the way.
So that's a good stat. And then if you kind of want to forecast in 59 games this year, if he plays them all,
50 points.
Yeah, 50 points, solid full. But then again, who knows? I mean, we could run into an opponent in the South that's, like Amarillo was last year or the year before, and we could just hang 10 on him every time. And he can have 4 points. Like homeboy did that got drafted by my favorite team, the Ottawa Senators.
Todd Burgess.
Fairbanks. Here's a guy, and this is a good example to compare it to. So Burgess, drafted in the 4th round by the Ottawa Senators, forward out of Fairbanks Ice Dogs. 60 games last year. He had 90 points. 30 of those points were against the Kenai River Brown Bears, who couldn't beat their way out of a wet paper bag. I mean, they were
not good. 4 wins, I think, total.
4 wins out of 60 games.
Yeesh.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's
not
great.
Like his stats, and I told this to a buddy with Ottawa media that his stats are a little bloated. Not chop the guy down, but so who knows? I mean,
he's still a good player, but when you have a good player against an even worse team, you're going to dominate.
So the whole point is Adamo could have 50 points. He could have 80 points. Who knows? But there will be scouts at games. And probably starting October 8th here in 46 hours now.
True.
We'll see.
We'll see some scouts rolling just like we always have.
We will. There's always Dallas Stars guys around. Those guys are pretty incognito. But then,
last year was the Bruins.
The Bruins guy was here. Half a dozen times. Yes, half a dozen times. So much that we're on. We're we're buddies.
We're putting him game notes and knowing him. Like, here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, and he cleared. And then look what happened. Clark got drafted by them. So we'll
If
see.
you're going to invest that much time, you better be pulling the trigger on something, right?
Yeah, we'll see. But first, NCAA commitment, and let's do this. Let's do our predictions. Last year, I think I predicted 15 or something stupid.
Yeah, I think I said 6. Actually,
no, you were the one that went nuts.
I said like 16. I think you said 14. You were You were closer.
What do we have?
We had 17 overall commitments, which is a lot.
Yeah,
and I think Division I, I want to say 12 of them.
Sounds right.
10, maybe 10 to 12, somewhere in that range. Now I can't think off the top of my head. I already put last year in the past.
Sure, it's in the rearview mirror, but
yeah, it's double digit. I think they just touched double digits for sure.
So the question is now, Nick, we've got one guy committed right now on this roster. Levi Wonder is was he University of Alabama Huntsville? Is that right?
Yes, that is correct.
So the question to you is, what is your prediction by the end of the year? By, let's say, August, how many just Division I commitments are we going to have out of this team?
Okay, knowing off what we had, what my number was last year, I was a little high. We have a lot of final year junior players, so they're in their last year of eligibility, which means it's either continue to college or they're done. And I think out of those guys, there's some big-time talent. It's a little bit slanted because some may not get commitments until like next year because they're a bit younger. Which like same thing as like if you factor in Troy York and Carson Kelly last year, they very well could and should get a commitment this year if they keep it up or whatever.
Absolutely.
Same with Kessel, same with Zimmerman, like Marabella. There's all those guys. I'm gonna go with 11.
Oh, still going strong, huh?
I'm still gonna go strong.
Okay.
Because I have that feeling too, like we're gonna add some player mid-season and
definitely.
I mean, that's gonna happen. But I could drop it down to 10, but we'll just stick at 11. 11 sounds good.
I'm gonna go ultra conservative this year, and I'm gonna drop it to 8.
Okay.
And I think that is very feasible. I think the guys that you mentioned, I think are almost a shoe-in to get a commitment. Your Kelly and Troy York and Glover and these guys that are putting up points right off the start. I think 8 is a good, healthy number.
No, I agree.
I
mean, you're right. If you want to go, I think that's
I want to
our norm.
Yeah. So every year can't be like last year. So let's go 8. Now, let's see if you can successfully predict a school that someone will commit to.
Wow. Let's see. I'm gonna go. I think. All right. I mentioned. We'll go John Zimmerman. I'm gonna think John Zimmerman, our defenseman. He was a captain last year. I think he's gonna go to a school like Bentley.
Okay. So you're gonna say we got, and whether it's Zimmerman or not, we're gonna have one commitment to Bentley.
There you go.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bemidji State.
Okay.
And I don't know who it's gonna be, but I know that they've been knocking on our door for 2 years. I think they were really after Birdie last year.
Yes.
And I know that they've talked to Adamo, so
yes.
I think Bemidji State's a good, and that's a great hockey school.
Yes, 100%.
So yeah, we'll see. Hey, and Bentley this year playing in were they playing in Fenway Park? They're playing
really?
Yeah, I want to say they're playing Army or
wow, that's really cool.
Or West Point or there's Army. I think it's Army hockey
okay.
team. But anyway, as part of the Frozen Fenway they have.
Yeah.
So, and I think that Andrew will play that too with Boston. I think it's Boston U versus Boston
cool.
College. So we'll have a couple former Brahmas.
The bean pot or whatever it is.
That's it. Yeah. So that's cool. So, all right. Moving along, we've got the Meet the Team party here in just a few minutes.
We'll head down there a little bit.
I know that we had talked about Team Store. We had done
yes.
We had done some stuff to the Team Store.
Yeah, apologize for the issues there with checkout stuff, but if anybody tried to order something, but feel free, go on the Brahmas, LoneStarBrahmas.com. The shop tab still works. Everything should be up to par. Should take all the payments, and there's no more like floating issues. So
yes,
looks clean.
Site. It looks clean. It's good, and the Team Store here is getting more stuff. And in fact, there's going to be a 30% off section. tonight at the Meet the Team party, which is, again, happening just momentarily. That'll be a good chance to get to meet the fellas and get you some discounted Brahmas merch.
Heck yeah.
And then opening night, Nick. You ready for opening night?
Oh, man.
Is your voice ready?
So ready. Yeah, heck yeah. I missed the Shreveport trip, so you bet. This voice has been ready to roll for 2 weeks now.
Yeah, and you did have Walt Ruff, who we ushered out of the room for his poor his confusion.
Yeah.
I guess
he's catching his flight back to Norfolk tomorrow.
So he was with you in Amarillo. That was good to see him. And but you're going to be solo this year. How's that going to feel?
I'll feel a little lost. Not going to lie. Sorry, Walt. I wish you were back here, buddy. And I feel bad for some of the fans, but no, maybe I shouldn't say lost. But we have to make some adjustments, and we'll be leaning on other people within the organization to help out with game night coverage, which is great. And I think so far everything's looking positive. Again, just that goes back to the change. But, hey, Walt's going to come back. I already know. He was texting me, and he's trying to get his way back here in December. So you may not see the last of Walt Ruff, not just on the podcast, but he'll be making some game time appearances as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then opening night, let's talk about that because we got a lot going. We teased throughout the summer in this show, we teased changes in the arena.
Yes.
Dasher boards for sponsors are up for the most part.
Yes.
There's still a couple in production. I think
Looks
you're going to
good.
really like what's in front of the visitors' bench. I think that's going to be something that let's just see what the fans' reaction is on that. I think that visitors' bench dasher is going to be the crowning achievement of of the graphic arts.
That one coming yet?
I think it's coming in
tomorrow.
Yes,
okay.
So it'll be a last minute thing, but
That's good.
so we've got new ice. It is. I did talk to some of the players last night, and they said that some of the players that were here last year, they said that the ice is much more firm and feels faster this year. I think we're keeping it a couple degrees cooler than we were last year. So
yeah, it helps.
If you're not a avid hockey player, that means nothing to you, but the guys seem to like it a little bit more. And the party deck is in place. We've got the nice banner there, Summer Energy Party Deck, and we will have No Limits Band playing there on the home opener. They're going to play
all your top 40 hits, right?
I don't know what they're going to play, honestly. I think there's going to be some top 40.
I saw that with the tease.
I doubt there's going to be any Slayer, and I doubt there's going to be any hip-hop, but you never know. It's not a hip-hop Friday, so we don't have to worry about that.
Hip-hop Saturdays.
Yeah, they're going to play pregame warm-ups, and they're going to be the entertainment while the bands warm up. So
nice.
That'll be new for us. Never done that before. We're going to roll the dice and see how that goes. And then they're going to play a song or two during each intermission. And then after the game, free to everybody here, post-game skate with the players. That'll be good with live music from No Limits Band. So it is going to be a party to kick off the season. Just one game this opening weekend. Again, weird scheduling from the league. We had one in Amarillo in September, and now we got one here.
And then we go there for 3 next week.
Yeah. So, come on out. It's going to be great. It's going to be a good time, and I expect a good rowdy atmosphere here.
I do too, and giveaway night too.
It is a giveaway. We have magnet schedules going on. It's a little bit of everything happening, and there's new food at Red Hot and Blues. Got ribs on the menu, so we'll have that. And I believe there's going to be intermission activity.
There's no more food challenges for me during the broadcast.
Not during the broadcast, but I definitely want to re-challenge you to a hot dog eating contest for dollar hot dog.
Oh,
night
your
game.
game.
Game?
We're in.
We're in? Okay.
We're in.
And, that's about that. I got nothing else. What do you got?
I'm excited for this weekend.
Okay. You want to predict it?
Sure. Let's see. I'm going to go. Well, hey, I got to start off on Friday. NA3 game. They're playing against Euless. That one, they're going to win 6-2.
Okay.
And then Saturday against the Amarillo Bulls in the NA home opener, Brahmas are going to win 4-1.
4-1. Okay, so I'm going to predict for the NA3 against Euless 11-2. And
winners.
Winners. Clarification, yeah. Brahmas are winners. And then the home opener, Brahmas, I'm going to pull this bit from super fans from Saturday Night Live. I'm going to say Brahmas 153 and Bulls -4.
Okay. 157 goal spread.
53. Yeah, 150. Yeah, 157. That's the spread.
That's the spread. I think if I was open in Vegas, we'd all be betting right now.
I'm pretty sure.
I love it. I love it. Well, fans, that'll do it for the podcast. We got to get down. We got to help out, meet the team, meet the fans, get excited for your Brahmas home on Saturday. Booyah! We'll see you at NITEX Saturday night, 7:30. Brahmas and Bulls battle the Cattle's back.
This has been Inside the Bullpen with the Lone Star Brahmas. Brought to you by Acme Brick. Acme Brick. It's the best thing to have around your house.
Oh, boy.